Hey everyone, I often get videos sent to me from clients. They ask a lot of questions about exercises that they see on Instagram or something in their sport that they see that someone talks about, and they wonder if they should implement it. I was recently sent a video from one of our defensive linemen, and it was just like a technique video for defensive linemen when they engage in the offensive line. And the video was from Supreme Lineman and Rogers Athletics. And those are two really good accounts for football players and linemen to get some good technique and positional work done. And the question was like, how can I train? What kind of things can we do for me to get better at this specific thing? And so I explained to them the exercises that we already do and how they help. But I'm going to make a video of that because I think it's very, very valuable for people to understand exercise selection, why we do things, and how they relate to their sport. And whenever we make programs, we don't really try to mimic that sport in the gym. We train the qualities that is required for them to excel. And then when they go and work with their positional coach or a skills coach, then they can take the strength and power that they've built in the gym and apply it into their sport, which is the most important thing. Now, I'm going to list a few exercises that we do to help improve something like a defensive lineman engaging with the O-line. And I'm going to relate each one to the force velocity curve. And if you don't know what the force velocity curve is, it's basically a graph with a downward sloping arrow. And so the higher the force is, so the heavier the weight is, like a maximal lift, like a heavy 1 rep max squat or bench, the slower that movement is. And then something like a sprint or a jump will be have lower force, but more velocity and more speed. And so I'll relate all these exercises to that. Then I'll also talk about their specificity. So how specific are they to this position and this sport? I'm going to kind of work down with the heaviest down to the lightest. So the first one is a pin press or board press. Now this is very heavy. We train over our 1 rep max off the chest. So it's focusing on the lockout, strengthening the end range, triceps and shoulders, chest, and this is generally a little bit slower of a movement, but it's training maximal strength. And if you're engaging with an offensive lineman, it really lets you to hold that position and push them and keep them at arm's length. And then if we kind of go down, so let's say your board press or pin press is about 365. Now we go down to a push press or push jerk. They are different exercises, but I'm going to kind of group them in the same. And let's say you're push pressing or push jerking 300 pounds. So the weight is less and you are driving with your legs and pushing the bar overhead. What I really like about this is that it kind of allows you to coordinate and allow your joints to work synergistically and together in order to produce a large amounts of force. This is super important for many athletes, but specifically defensive linemen, so that they can use their strong legs and their strong arms and kind of connect them together so that they can apply lots of force into the offensive lineman in front of them. Now, if we go down that force velocity curve, we're going to get into our landmine variations. Our pin press, board press is at 365, push press is at 300. Let's say our landmine variations are going to be around 100 to 150 pounds, depending if you're doing single arm or double arm. Now, this is where we really get into the specificity of the movement. It's more aligned with the angle that you see in the videos of defensive linemen engaging into the pads or into the O-line. And this one, you can vary it. You can do single arm, you can do double arm, depending on your attachments. And this one, since the weight is a lot less, the speed will be a lot faster. And then if we lower the weight more, if we get more on the velocity side of this curve, you'll see landmine chest pass or landmine broad jumps. Now, what I really like about the landmine broad jumps is you see the same angle that you did in the landmine variation and even the videos that are on Instagram. Only thing is now you're doing like an actual broad jump or a step afterwards, which is fine. But that's not really something that you would see as like a broad jump into an offensive lineman. But the angle and the extension of all the joints is very similar to what you would see in like field training, like skills and positional work. And also the med ball would be about 5 to 25 pounds. So it's a lot lighter, but the speed component is really what you're training here. So that quality is going to be speed training. So those are the exercises that we do on a daily and weekly basis to help facilitate performance for defensive linemen, specifically in this drill where they're really engaging in an O-line. Again, we always try to focus on the quality required for that sport, not just mimic what you see. Sometimes if you mimic what you see, you lose a lot of the other components that like maximal strength and maximal force production. But as long as you train everything on that curve, you're going to set yourself up to really excel in your position. And as long as you're also doing the positional and skill work with your coach, you'll see an increase in performance. Hope you guys enjoyed that video. I get lots of stuff sent to me, specifically from clients. And I'm going to try and make more of these so that everyone out there can better understand the exercise selection, what they do and why they do them, and some of the things that we do in-house here. Hope you guys have a good day.